When the U.S. withdrew its troops from Afghanistan, the international community rushed to freeze the country's foreign assets so that the Taliban does not misuse the funds. But the ordinary Afghans fell prey to this move. Humanitarian groups were left with no means to help those in need. Now, after 6 months, the U.S. has decided to unfreeze part of the assets. Joe Biden has now signed an executive order creating the possibility of splitting $7 billion in frozen Afghan funds held in the U.S. With this, Biden administration is now allotting half of the frozen funds to humanitarian groups in Afghanistan, while keeping the rest for possible compensation for the victims of the 9/11 terror attack.
The uncertainties is we do not know how the money will be divided. But based on the words in the executive order and the American system of justice, we hope and we will fight for the rights of all of the victims who were killed on 9/11, their estates, their spouses, their kids, their parents, and their siblings, to be compensated for losses that really can't be compensated.
The executive order will seek to facilitate access to $3.5 billion of the assets currently held by the Federal Reserve of New York for the benefit of the Afghan people. Taliban rulers, meanwhile, have slammed Washington for the partial unfreezing of the Afghan funds and branded the move as a moral decay of Biden administration's conscience. The compensations will only be granted with New York court's ruling. While the decision has been made, it will take at least a couple of months before the funds can be utilized. Meanwhile, Washington has made no relief announcements for the Afghans who fell victims to the 20-year-long war. America's hasty withdrawal from Afghanistan in August last year has been severely criticized by the international community. If the troops' pullout was not the end, just a few days after the rushed withdrawal, the United States also conducted a botched drone strike in Kabul. It killed 10 innocent Afghans, and the U.S. had brushed it off as a tragic mistake. It was intended to target an ISIS bomb, but Pentagon messed up the mission and instead hit a civilian target. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.